Hey guys, and welcome to the Family Fudge. I'm Jennifer, and in today's video I'm kicking off a new series that I like to call Look What I Made with ... In this series, I'm going to be taking one pantry staple or other ingredient, and then I'm going to show you 3 easy recipes that you can make using that item. The star of the show today is Funfetti Cake Mix. Now you guys, I love Funfetti cake mixes because they are so fun and colorful, and of course I love sprinkles. And when it comes to cake mixes in general, there really are so many different things you can add to doctor them up and make them more gourmet. But you guys, for today's video with these cake mixes, I'm not going to be making cake at all. Now before I get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button if you're new. First up, I'm making some cool and colorful treats that are perfect for a hot summer's day. These Funfetti ice cream sandwiches are super easy to make, and you only need a few ingredients. For the cookies themselves, I'm going to be using 1 box of Funfetti cake mix. I'm going to go ahead and dump this into a large mixing bowl. And then to this, you're also going to need ½ cup of oil. Now I'm using coconut oil because that's what I prefer, but you also could use vegetable oil if you're not a fan of coconut flavored things. And then finally, I'm also going to be adding in 2 eggs. And you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever made cake mix cookies before. They usually come out big and fluffy, and they are so good. So now that I have this all mixed together, I'm actually going to stick the entire bowl in my fridge for about 15 minutes so it can chill up. While that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven at 350, and I'm also going to line my cookie sheet with a bit of parchment paper so that our cake cookies don't stick. Once the dough has had enough time to chill, it's time to start scooping. And you can make these cookies as big or as small as you'd like. I decided to make them on the smaller side, so that's what I'm going with. And because I want these cookies to have even more sprinkles, after I scoop out the dough, I'm going to gently roll each little dough ball in extra sprinkles. Now all I have to do is pop these in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, and you really want to keep an eye on these because you don't want them to brown at all. Now check it out, you guys. These look so good just as they are. I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the baking sheet and let them cool on a wire rack. And then once they are completely cooled down, it's time for the ice cream. I'm just going to add a small scoop of vanilla. Of course, you can use any flavor you like. And then if you're not going to eat these right away, you definitely want to get these back into the freezer. Now, if you are a fan of cheesecake, but you're looking for something that's a little bit faster to put together, then this no-bake recipe is definitely for you. This Funfetti cheesecake dip only has 5 ingredients. It comes together super quick, and it's also a crowd pleaser. To make this, I'm going to start by adding 8 ounces of cream cheese to a large mixing bowl. And you guys, you definitely want to have your cream cheese at room temperature. That's going to make your life a lot easier. To my cream cheese, I'm also going to add an entire 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip. Now, if you wanted to, you definitely could use fresh homemade whipped cream instead. That would be so good, but this Cool Whip is a lot faster, so that's what I'm using today. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and use my hand mixer, and I'm just going to beat these together until they are nice and smooth and creamy. Next comes the cake mix. I'm going to be adding 2 cups to my bowl. And now it's time to add some milk. Now, because I don't want this dip to be too runny, I'm going to start out with just 1/3 cup of milk, and I'm going to mix that together. Then I'm going to add a little bit more milk at a time. I'm going to continue to stir until it reaches the right consistency. Like I said, you don't want this to be too runny, but you also don't want it to be so thick that you're not able to actually dip into it without breaking your cookie. So now that this is all combined and it's the consistency that I like, I'm going to go ahead and transfer this into a serving bowl, and then I'm going to go crazy with the sprinkles. I want to have plenty of sprinkles all over the top. Now you could serve this as is, but I always like to stick mine in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes or so, just so it can chill up a bit. Now I love to serve this dip with fresh fruit. Apple slices are my favorite because they're better for dipping, but I also really like to add pretzels, graham crackers, and animal crackers. Now that brings me to a recipe that would work for breakfast or dessert. For this recipe, I'm going to start by adding 1 cup of Funfetti cake mix to my mixing bowl. And then to this, I'm also adding just 1 cup of pancake mix, and you can use any brand that you prefer. Next, I'm adding 2 eggs, and make sure not to get any eggshells in there. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of milk, followed by 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then a pinch of salt. Now at this point, I'm going to mix everything together, and it is smelling so good. Now we do have some sprinkles in here already, but I'd like to see more. So I'm gonna go ahead and add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of sprinkles into my batter, and I'm going to fold those in gently because I don't want them to lose their color or dissolve in the batter. So now you're gonna go ahead and cook your pancakes as you normally would. You can make really big pancakes, or you can make silver dollar pancakes. That's totally up to you. But I do recommend cooking these on low because you don't really want the outside of your pancake to get super dark. That way you'll be able to see the sprinkles better. Now you could top these with regular syrup, but I really like to add a creamy glaze. For this, all you have to do is add 2 tablespoons of butter to a mixing bowl. In here, you're also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of milk, and then anywhere between 2 to 3 cups of powdered sugar. And that really just depends on how thick or thin you like your glaze. Once that's all mixed up, it's ready to go. Now, if you have an ingredient that you'd like to see me use next time, go ahead and leave your suggestion down below. And if you're looking for even more fun recipe ideas, you can click on these videos right over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.